I'm going to call the East Lyme Inland Wetlands Agency regular meeting to order. It's Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, 7:01. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we would like to add one thing to the agenda this evening, the election of officers. Do I need to make a motion to do that? I'll just make a motion to add to the agenda the election of officers. Do I hear a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, everyone. So with that, I'll turn the meeting over to Ann.
I'll just do it from here so
Sure.
you guys can hear me. Okay. Ann Chicallo, ex officio from the Board of Selectmen regarding the election of officers. We're going to start with, do I hear a motion for an election for the chairman for the East Lyme Inland Wetland Agency?
Make a motion to keep Kristen as chairperson of the Inland Wetlands Agency.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
I gladly accept your
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? No? Okay. Kristen, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think you can take over from here.
All right, so with that, do I hear any motions for the vice chair position?
I make a motion, we elect Don Pipster as the vice chair.
And do I hear a second?
Second that.
Am I supposed to do this 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear any other, would anybody else, is anyone else interested in making a motion to nominate a vice chair?
No, never mind.
And then a 3rd time, do I hear, anyone else would like to make a motion to nominate anybody? All right, all those in favor for Don?
Aye.
Thank you. That's everybody? Okay. And so Phyllis has been our secretary for many years, so I would like to make a motion to nominate Phyllis to remain our secretary. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
And then I would like to ask for any other candidates, any motions for any other candidates for secretary? 2nd time. And then one last time, do I hear any other potential candidates for secretary? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of Phyllis? Aye.
Aye.
Craig, did you say aye?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. That's everyone.
It's very softly.
All right, all set with that. So then moving on to public delegations is the time when members of the public are invited to speak to the commission about certain matters. Issues or concerns related to approved wetland permits and in-house proposals or general topics of discussion are open to comment. Agenda items, referrals, applications subject to a decision by the commission, a public hearing, or litigation may not be discussed. The members of the commission will not directly answer questions or make comments during delegations. Anyone here to speak to us about something not on the agenda for this evening? So then moving on to our public hearing, this is for the application of the Town of East Lyme Inland Wetlands Agency for a comprehensive revision of the East Lyme Inland Wetlands Regulations, Section 1 through 20. This is a continuation from our December 2nd, 2025 meeting. Is anyone here for the public hearing like to make any comments? Okay. Did you revise the regulations?
Not as of yet. I need to finish making the changes.
Okay. Do you need this still?
I still need that, yes.
Okay.
I just didn't have to go this evening. So,
Okay.
Other than what you identified there, other comments, changes, suggestions, I would just know we did open the public hearing back in December. We canceled our January meeting. It's now February. There's no public to speak on them. I find curious about that. So just a little.
Yeah, the last time we had a rev change.
The room is packed.
Yes.
So, excuse me.
Is it being publicized?
believe so.
appropriately,
I've been
yeah.
trying to tell
So-
everyone I know that these are there, come, give me comments.
I'll see if I can get it, but is it on the town website?
It, as like kind of like a one-off advertisement.
I can see if I can get it on there. Is it gonna be continued then until the next meeting?
Yeah, I see no harm in continuing it.
Okay,
I mean, we welcome the public.
okay, so I'll talk to them in the
Yeah,
main
I
office
would
and see
think
if I can get them to put it on.
short of some substantive thing that is pointed out to us, that needs some sort of major overhaul or revision, I would presume the commission's leaning toward closing the hearing probably in March.
Yeah, I would say yes, that's true.
So,
Mhm.
that, yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to them.
Just parenthetically, I think the last time we upgraded the regulations was when we went from 100 feet to 300 feet.
It is, yeah.
So it was a pretty impactful change for a lot of people. Just could explain why the room was packed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not doing that this time, so.
Yeah, but I do think though that these will also be impactful in that it's going to alleviate some of the stress for, say, small projects in that 200, 300 foot area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still required to get permits, or at least possibly, I'll be able to make a determination that permit's not required.
Right. But it's not making it more onerous, it's just clarifying what we do. That's all.
Where other projects of a certain threshold will actually have to come before.
All right, so yeah, we'll just discuss that, I think, one last time, wrap it up next meeting. Okay. So then moving on to accepting the meeting minutes. So first would be the regular meeting minutes of November 4th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to accept those minutes?
I apologize that I lost the notes on these, just so the public knows why they weren't posted. Our recording secretary had gotten elected, first elected in the town of Salem, so I did take the minutes, and my notes were misplaced, so please take a careful read at these, but I believe I caught all motions, and I think I got the gist of each.
Yeah, they looked good to me.
They are very sparse. I'll leave you catch the motions.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from November.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody, is everybody? Okay. So then moving on to the regular meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2025. Similar situation.
Yes.
So they are now posted and available. Do I hear a motion to accept those minutes?
I move to accept the minutes from the January meeting.
December 2nd.
December,
Yep.
sorry.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So back to you, Ann, ex officio report.
Okay, Ann Chichello, ex officio from the Board of Selectmen. I know you guys haven't been here, but we've been busy. We've been working on the budget. Specifically, I'm part of a subcommittee where we have members from the Board of Selectmen, 2 members from the Board of Selectmen, somebody from the town, 2 members from the Board of Finance, and then somebody from the town, and then what's the other one? 2 members from the Board of Education, and then somebody from the town. And we're going through all the capital projects, and all of the department heads have come and spoken to our group, and we will be reviewing all the capital projects in town. So I've been working on that for about the past month, meeting a few times a week. At our last Board of Selectmen meeting, there was a motion that was granted to use the NIP funds, which are the, I don't know if people know what NIPs are, the little drinks or bottles, I don't know. And the town gets money for them, and you have to use them for certain things. So there was a motion that was granted to use $12,267 to clean the catch basins. The Public Works usually cleans about half the basins every other year, which is really good. I-95 project, it's about 75% complete. It's got 10 more months until it's fully completed. And I don't know if you've realized, but the blasting's been going on in the morning and then in the afternoon. Let me see. What else? Oh, there was also the e-ticketing ordinance that went forward, and that there was a public hearing on it, and then it, I guess it, I think becomes in force after like 10 days or something. So that was approved by the Board of Selectmen. So that's about it. I don't know, does anybody have any questions?
Have you discussed the bus garage potential locations at all with the rest of the?
Oh, for the buses that were over it. Yeah, no, not really. They don't really have a place for them.
Talked about,
Brian's
yeah, by Costco with the 95 project going on. There's that parking lot that's being used for the vehicles, the construction vehicles.
Do you know, is that property owned by the town?
Make it more ugly than it is.
It's by the state?
My recollection at
Yeah.
a long time ago, the infield there on the new ramp that gets built on the off ramp, there was discussion about deeding the parcel to the town and actually locating the police station there. In the center, certainly would work, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, this project took years after.
both public safety.
Requirement. So that being said, that kind of fell through the cracks. It was no longer needed. So that the land may be available by the state. They're going to put the commuter lot on the south side of I-95. So maybe there's options there to.
I mean, it would be a good location because it's like
Yeah.
central.
It's
You
not
know,
too
and
far
it's
from where they
it's
are now.
but it's actually right close to all the schools too.
Right.
So
Okay, so
No
let me
wetlands.
if you were to have
I'll
discussion with the state,
Yeah, well, there's
it's
still
the
working on it.
it's the state. It's definitely state owned.
all that area, I believe, is the state. Yeah.
Okay,
And
all right.
Off the Costco site. Intersection there,
Yeah.
all the way to the 161.
I can bring this up to the first selectman and the board of selectmen. Yeah.
I do know Dan's aware, and I do know Jeff is also, and we've had some informal discussions, and I think that the issue is finding land and space that would fit the volume of buses.
Is there enough space there where she was speaking about for the buses? I just don't know.
I think so. I think it's
It's not-
pretty large.
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
because they're kind of pretty tight over by the middle school. It's pretty tight over there. So
Yeah, with all the snow too, it's a total mess over there right now.
If you look at
Yeah.
the plans that they're on the wall downstairs, I mean, it looks like even the commuter line is going to be huge. So
Mhm.
again, I don't know what kind of volume the commuters use where the existing lot is gone now, but where we had the lot, I don't know if it was even heavily used.
There was never more than like 10 cars there.
is the commuter lot? Is that who owns that property?
DOT, yeah, it's a DOT commuter parking lot.
Okay.
So they're proposing to relocate what was up alongside King Arthur Drive over south toward I-95 Road. Basically, between
So could they cut some of the commuter lot down and put the buses over there, or no? Is that a possibility?
I don't know if there's a number of parking spot thresholds that they're following or something like that. I mean, obviously, local zoning is not like I guess my response was that there might even be room to expand a lot of the building to accommodate the buses. I think there's enough area.
The lot where? Which?
Parking, so if you use the proposed parking lot, they just expand it to include bus parking. That might be sufficient.
That's a good idea.
Yes,
Okay.
spot.
There's a temporary lot there now, though, right? That's what they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's across from True Value.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lot will go away.
Mm.
The buses can get relocated
To the south
to the
side.
south.
Right, I guess that was the question, if that was also, could be,
That existing lot remain,
yeah,
so long as the offer doesn't come through it.
I
right.
don't think it does.
Either side would work.
Yeah.
Frankly, if you put them on the north side, I think they'd be further out of sight.
Hmm.
So that buses aren't most aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Yeah.
Well, in the yellow.
Okay.
Eh.
You thought he'd put a dog park there.
Okay, well, I'll look into this then
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
next
that'd be
month.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
that's a
Ann, is
good
there-
question.
Is there a conclusion reached on the cell phone tower behind Smoky Brady?
So, I do know that the first selectman did speak to the siting council. There was a hearing on, what was, Thursday, what was the date of Thursday?
28th, I think.
28th, okay, then January 28th. And he actually spoke, we decided not to intervene, so he went and spoke to the siting council. They actually basically said, you can't talk about X, Y, and Z, we don't even care about those arguments. So they gave him like 3 minutes to speak. So it was, yeah, very short, he said. But I said, look, you just have to go with your strongest arguments, and that was it. So, so I don't know what their decision is going to be. I'm not sure what the time frame is for the siting council to make their decision. But what happened was people from the zoning board members and board of selectmen, we all gave kind of like our input in writing, and then the town attorney consolidated it and then gave it to the first selectman who spoke at the siting council this past Thursday. So. Yeah, so I don't know what the decision is at this point, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, great, thanks.
All right, so moving on to new business, we have the Inland Wetlands Agency permit 2021-38, request for a permit extension 99, 101, and 103 South Beechwood Road, Niantic, map number 7.14, lot 41, 42, and 43 for the construction of 2 single-family dwellings and associated appurtenances, including but not limited to a driveway, sewer connection, and stormwater drainage structures.
In the packet, you have a letter there from Howard Hill, requesting an extension. I also just put a brief memo together in the packet. Regards to that, basically pursuant to sections 711 and the Connecticut General Statute, section 22A-42A-G, any permit issued under the section prior to July 1, 2011, and is not expired prior to the 9th, shall not expire less than 9 years after the date of approval. Any application to renew a permit shall be granted upon request of the permit holder unless the agency finds that there has been a substantial change in the circumstances which requires a new permit application or enforcement action to be undertaken with regard to the regulated activities of this permit position. So, Mr. Hale is asking for an additional 5 years, bringing it to the 10-year limit on the permit. There's been no change. He has not started any construction. We think, my last conversation suggested he was going to get started this year, but I don't know.
So he has an approved permit?
Yes.
Okay,
So we just it was good for 5 years, it's been 5 years, it's done
Yeah.
no work. In the
okay.
event that he wants to start, so long as he meets our regulations, we just got to make this request prior to the expiration. Pursuant to the statute, we have to approve.
What happens at the 10-year point if he doesn't proceed?
Reapply, the whole, which you just basically copy his application. And
Mhm.
provided our regulations haven't changed, or will have, he might have to just make sure he complies with the new set of regs on that new application.
Okay. So would someone like to read the proposed motion?
I can for you.
Thank you.
For this inland wetlands permit, 20121 TAC 38, request for permit extension 99, this whole thing?
No, just this.
Okay, great. Proposed motion, based on the findings of memorandum from Gary A. Gaishel II, Director of Planning and the Wetlands Agency, East Lyme Wetlands Agency, dated February 3rd, 2026, I hereby move to request Howard Hale for the 5-year extension time to complete the proposed activities associated with the application known as the application of Howard W. Hale, applicant, Habitat for Humanity owner, to conduct regulated activities including but not limited to construction of 2 new single-family dwellings and associated appurtenances at a property identified in the application as 99, 101, and 103 S. Beechwood Road, East Lyme, Assessor's Map 07.14, lots 43, 42, and 41.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so next would be pending applications for 16 Mustawi Road, Jerry Locken, Lyme, Parks and Rec, applicant and owner, application to construct an ADA accessible trail and improve the existing parking area for Darrow Pond at property located 16 Mustawi Road, East Lyme. Assessors map number 40.0, lot number 5.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jerry Lockett. I'm the Director of Parks and Rec, and appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. Up in front here and in your packets, you should have information that looks a lot like that board that's being presented to you. Essentially, this is the town is applying for a recreational trails grant from the state of Connecticut to construct an ADA accessible trail in Darrow Pond, on the Darrow Pond property, and to improve some existing trails. In terms of the project scope, the only portion of the work that's actually happening in an area where that you need to be concerned is the ADA accessible boardwalk that goes down towards the pond. That's the only portion of the project where construction is happening in the 300-foot buffer. So I guess I'll step over here just for a brief moment. So Darrow Pond right here, Moskowee Road is right here, and Colchester Road is, goes parallel to Moskowee. But the section is right down this yellow trail right there, and in your package you'll see that it needs to kind of snake itself down the hill. There's a pretty good slope up from the parking lot down to the pond. So that's why that trail kind of snakes down there, so we can maintain a grade of less than 5% to conform and make it accessible for folks. The portion of that trail that's closest to the water, that mirrors the shoreline there, is going to be an elevated boardwalk. So it's going to be constructed using some helical piles. They'll just drive some rods into the ground. So the boardwalk will be raised above the ground level. People will actually be able to view the pond, but it's not going to be, you won't be on the ground, you'll be above the ground. So there is a portion of the trail where it snakes down the hill that there will be some minor construction where we'll have to do a little bit of grading or a little bit of making the trail surface level and graded and firm. So that's really the activity that we need to be concerned about in terms of wetlands. And I'm sorry, I'm going to take a moment here too. We actually have 3 members of the Darrow Pond Subcommittee here tonight who are very supportive of this and have done a lot of work over the last 6 years to develop the Darrow Pond Master Plan and to advocate for increased use of the trails and things like that, to use this town-owned property that's an asset for the town we've had for 15 years. We have an opportunity here to improve it and make it accessible for even more people and to increase the use of the property and enhance it. So with that, I guess I'm willing to answer any questions, or Gary, if there's anything else I need to address.
I would just note that this is all part of a larger master
Okay,
plan.
it's on the backside,
Yeah.
yeah.
So a few years ago, we applied for some DEP funding, grant funding to actually create this plan. That was phase 1 of our project. This is phase 2 is to do the ADA accessible trail. So on the plan on the screen is the pink trail here all the way down to the pond. And, it's in pink, that's the ADA trail. There's another area to the north. Here, also in pink, that's going to be a new trail. Everything in blue are existing. And the dark bold line you can see is the 300-foot upland review area. So there's quite a bit of trail within that upland review area. it is. Again, hiking is typically a passive recreation activity. Along with this application, we're proposing to do some trail maintenance, which does require, there's a couple of stream crossings, and the proposal is to use timber matting to make those crossings more stable and reduce the sedimentation and erosion that we're experiencing along the trail. So ultimately, all this work is, if I'm just going too fast here, but again, here's the proposed work. You can see there's a couple of wetlands. We did have FHI who was putting the plan together. They hired a soil scientist, Daniel Hagman, because we couldn't actually track down the original wetland delineation and report. So with that, I said, well, for the agency, in order to approve a permit, we're going to need a soil scientist. So we had to spend a little extra money than we anticipated.
Yep.
And for his services. With that said, I think we verified the wetland boundaries. He said there was not any significant changes in those, maybe some minor movement, but nothing of substance in terms of the boundary location being completely gone. So which is a good thing. So that means we have held the property, they have the I don't really have anything other comments on this, other than this is actually going to be enhancements to the property to help solve some of the erosion sedimentation control issues that we have out there right now as a result of ATV and use. I think also it's going to, help bring more people to the property to help police it, kind of just naturally. And then there'll certainly be more park and rec presence up there when there's a formalized boardwalk and in a larger parking area. There's probably be more garbage cans, things that need to get tended to more frequently. And again, as you can see from this plan, there, phase 3 will potentially include a disc golf course, maybe some other activities, but we haven't got that far yet.
So yes, the recreational trails grant that we're applying for is a state grant. The town puts in 20%, the state puts in 80%. So it's a pretty good bang for our buck. And but getting that funding from the state requires us to have the approval of all the regulatory agencies such as the inland wetlands. So that's why we're here tonight. Hopefully, we think this project is an enhancement to the property. We think that it's going to increase the use. We think it's going to actually help conserve the property, to be honest with you. The more people that go out and use the property and are familiar with the property, I think long-term for the town, it becomes more valuable to people. If people don't know about it or don't have access to it, they don't value it the same way that they do if they do have access and they do know what's out there and value the meadows, the woodlands, the pond and whatnot. So we definitely think this is a project to enhance and come to a fuller utilization of the property that the town purchased 10 or 15 years ago.
Is there, with any trails, there's always erosion issues, so, and maybe they're in here, I just don't happen to see it at this point, but like water bars or something along those lines, and then how do they impact an ADA accessible trail?
So, yeah, the portion of when you're in a natural area, certain portions of the trail can be made accessible, certain portions aren't going to be. If we're talking about areas where there are really steep slopes, the answer in the case of the portion of the trail, that one single portion of the trail that goes down to the pond, is to snake down the hill and kind of gradually keep the slope there. But in a place where there's a 5% or greater grade, and we had some water bars there to kind of mitigate erosion or things like that, that portion is not going to be fully accessible. We are going to make improvements to kind of minimize any kind of erosion that'll happen. So just making the trails overall more stable, that doesn't necessarily make them accessible, but it certainly makes them more resilient and less susceptible to erosion and things like that. So all of the trails on the property will be enhanced in some way, but the accessible trail really is something that is going to, with a wheelchair or a walker or whatever, it's going to conform to, slopes and hard surfaces and things like that are going to allow people to use it.
How do the folks who are going to use this trail get from the parking lot to this new trail? What sorts of
Absolutely.
events would happen there?
Absolutely.
Just curious.
So an accessible trail is not accessible if you can't get there from the parking lot. So there, in the proposed parking lot, they do have a number of handicap accessible spaces, and from those accessible spaces, there's going to be, the trail from those parking spaces to the pond is all accessible, all continuous. So, yeah, you can't have an accessible trail that you can't get to.
Exactly. That's
Correct, yeah.
What sort of equipment do you envision driving in the rods and doing the construction that you alluded to that would occur? I mean, I'm looking at a disruption and restoration.
Yeah, I don't exactly know, but they're kind of, they call them helical piles, so it's something I could see like something, maybe even a handheld piece of equipment like a post hole digger almost, that would rotate something into the ground. That's how it screws into the ground, holds things in place, so there's minimal disruption. So certainly when we're talking about a hard surface path snaking down, there may be some minor grading or some some kind of maybe a little bobcat or something like that in a very small area. But the intent here is to be as conservative as we can be in terms of disrupting the natural environment. That the whole idea is to not disrupt that hillside and
You're
that area.
promoting the environment.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
I'm just going to note that Mr. McDonald, the engineer, Joe McDonald, indicated that the accessible trail from the parking lot down to the pond would be at 5% or less grade. So hopefully, if the grade's less than 5%, you won't have significant erosion on that trail. All the other trails are off limits in regard to being ADA accessible, and they're just not. So this will be the only one going down to the pond, across the boardwalk, back, cul-de-sac at the end at the pond.
For a turnaround, yeah.
Turnaround, but they will have a 5% grade down and back, so that makes it accessible. I was looking into details sheets and to see if they have the detail.
I think the upper left there might be showing the helical piles there, yeah.
So it's basically a long stick and it screws into the ground. Bridge, bollards.
Good idea. I don't think that's going to impede anything.
Yeah, I think this is great. Does anyone else have questions or discussion? No.
If you want on sheet LG 402.
You can see that it's quite those contour lines on that image there are pretty tight. That's a pretty significant slope. So that's the reason why we have to snake it back and forth across the hillside going down.
So I have this opening here in the vegetation to this little structure. I'm not sure what that is. It's just kind of a foundation sitting there, maybe an old shed or something. But to provide access here, it's just too steep to get down there. So we just have to be mindful of what people coming onto into that space.
Well, I'm thinking that the boardwalk, I think it's going to be elevated. I don't think there's going to be any means to get down to the,
Down there. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need a motion to approve the application for permit.
We need to read that verbatim.
You don't need to read all the findings, but I will say if you wanted to justify your position, I think you could based on the findings. By approving,
Okay.
it's similar to the last motion, I just prefer, based on the findings in the memo.
So read the findings.
No, the proposed,
No,
again,
just
just
the
the
proposed
proposed.
motion.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think, based on my analysis, I think it's pretty, in my opinion, I think it's the entire property and actually reduce the erosion issue.
Okay.
Do you have to take any big trees down?
Certainly, we actually are heavily interested in conserving the legacy trees out there, and I know Marjorie and others have been out there, pulling vines down and invasives from those trees to protect them for future years. So, yeah, there are some pretty spectacular trees out there, and there may be some minimal pruning or removal of some invasives or things like that maybe impede the view into the pond or something like that, but certainly nothing that's a big legacy oak or something like that. Those are absolutely going to be conserved.
Great.
Yep.
I'll also add that we currently have an application connected to DEP for a trails grant in the amount of
So,
approximately $400,000, somewhere in that realm for this project.
I think the entire project is over $1 million, but the town's portion is just a little bit less than 400,000. Yep.
With that said, we've already brought the project before the planning commission. They've approved a 8-24 review for it.
That's a great thing for the town.
Yes, sir. Proposed motion, based on the findings and memorandum from Gary A. Gazel II, Director of Planning, Inland Wetlands Agent to the East Lyme Inland Wetlands Agency dated February 3rd, 2026. I hereby move to approve the application known as application of Jerry Loken, Director of Parks and Recreation, applicant agent, Town of East Lyme, owner, application to construct an ADA accessible trail and improve the existing parking area for Darrell Pond at property located at 16 Must Alley Road, East Lyme, Connecticut, and the plans entitled Darrell Pond Trail Improvements, 16 Must Alley Road, East Lyme, Connecticut, scale 1 inch to 20 feet, dated December 12th, 2025, prepared by Joseph M. McDowell, P.E., and Daniel A. Hagman, soil scientist of FHI Studio, 416 Asylum Street, Hartford, Connecticut, on behalf of the town of East Lyme, which is further subject to the following administrative requirements: required modifications to the site plan and other materials submitted in support of this application. Number 1, the erosion and sedimentation controls should be installed prior to the start of any demolition, earthwork, or construction. Number 2, notify conservation officer at least 2 days prior to construction to inspect erosion controls. 3, in areas proposed to be loamed and seeded, low maintenance lawns such as fescue, which requires minimal application of fertilizer and pesticides, should be planted. 4, forested cover within the upland reuse areas should be maintained to the extent practicable. The proposed LOD shall be strictly adhered to through all phases of construction. 5, any proposed additional work beyond this permit in the wetlands or watercourse or its 300-foot regulated area will require approval from the Inland Wetlands Agency or the certified agent. Number 6, any changes to the site plan listed as permit require notification to the Inland Wetlands agent, may require an agency approval. The new plan incorporating such changes shall be given to the agent before any new work begins. Number 7, no site work shall commence until all applicable conditions are satisfied. Number 8, notify Inland Wetlands agent upon completion of all regulated activities for final inspection and sign-off. This approval is specific to the site development plan submitted by the application of Jerry Loken for East Lyme Parks and Rec, applicant, Town of East Lyme, owner, applicant to construct an ADA accessible trail and improve existing parking area for Darrell Pond at property located 16 West Talia Road, East Lyme, Connecticut. Any modifications as approval, any of those identified herein shall be constitute a new application unless prior approval from the agency or its agent is granted. The applicant owner shall be bound by the provisions of this applicant and approval.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's everyone. Thank you. Good luck. So next we have old business, chairman's report. We don't have anything this week, this month. Gary, in the Wetlands Asia report?
What I have is just as a reminder, and I think this might have been in the November packet, the Public Act 25-73 was an act allowing town to designate such city establishing a task force to study regulation of corporate housing and acquisitions concerning training for inland wetland agencies. Just pointing that out. Section 7-194, the general statute, safety fields, effective October 1 of 2025. You will need to now obtain some training, and that's taking the commissioner training program that's available online. It's free. Sign up and do it. The interesting thing here is if you don't, and it's the penalty.
You're not supposed to say that part.
It's not like that weekend thing.
Things like failure to have a member of the agency or staff who training shall not affect the validity of any action of the agency.
Where is that website found?
Is that, remember that weekend training thing? Is that the same thing? There was like that big, huge book, and there was
Yeah,
like
it talked
weekend
about the
training,
in
you
and
could
out.
join
That
it.
is the Connecticut Bar Association's land use law training.
Okay,
Okay.
Completely different.
okay,
We're qualified.
okay.
The commissioner training program is really pretty basic. It's, you know, kind of your rules, and your role and responsibility as commissioners, how to read a map.
Okay.
Like a driver's test?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, how do we get there so we can do it?
So I will have to I can email you a link to their website. I believe the program is being offered through Yukon Clear, and they're hosting kind of this platform for deep, as well, because our planning and zoning commissioners are required to get training. So at least within a calendar year of your appointment, you have 1 year to do the training.
Okay.
We have to track our planning and zoning commissioners because they have to do it more frequently. So there's turnover there, so we're having to figure out what we're going to do this year with the number of. We'll usually send to the Bar Association's training. I talked to the town council about setting up our own training here. Maybe we can do something in a joint effort. That's a little more complicated and there's a cost to us involved. Some of the training is provided through Clear. I will send you out the link. Remind you that you have to do the new numbers. For those who haven't done it. I'm getting a look at that.
I don't remember. There's been a few different things I've done, but nothing within the last year. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's really I don't have this 9 Rockwood Drive. I need to follow up on that. I'm told I can look at it on
Oh,
Funny.
take a stroll over there.
we get a different view of things.
That's a working. So it stays on the agenda, so we don't have to worry about it. As far as administrative permits, I don't have any issues in December. I'm just sitting on my desk. Yet, so we'll get this out for the next meeting.
Okay,
That's all I have.
all right.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I hear a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.